We're going to skip the graph problem and move on to this one here. So typically this person spends $2 a day for lunch. She notices that she has $17 left after today's lunch. She thinks of a sequence to model her daily cash. Write the explicit formula for this that will allow her to represent her balance, and an equation, so a linear equation, of a line through the points of the sequence. And then how useful is this formula in predicting how much money she has? So can we use this formula to help us figure out how much money she has in 10 days, for example, or can we figure out what she will be at in 25 days, for example. At some point, obviously, she's going to run out of money. So write the explicit, write the linear, and then how useful do you think the explicit formula is in predicting the amount of money she'll have? When you're finished, turn the video back on. So for the problem here, the b value is 17, and the slope is -2. So each day our answer is going down. So for an explicit, it looks like the recursive, and then we start off with u of n. Or in the linear equation, we start off with y. So u of n is equal to our starting value, which is $17, minus 2 times n. So each day, the value of her money is going down $2. For the linear equation, it's y equals mx plus b. So it's y equals -2x plus 17. So how useful, again, I think that's more of an opinion question, but if I put in, for example, 10 days here, I can see how much money she will have. So 17 minus 2 times 10. So 17 minus 20 is -$3. So I definitely know that if I wanted to look at how much money she would have after 10 days, I know that she has run out of money, and she'll be $3 in the hole. So, for example, if she's doing school lunches, that means she was owed the school $3 at that point. So it will at least allow us to know how much money she has. Linear equation, really very little difference in terms of the final answer is going to be the same. It's just the symbolism we're using. We're using y and x instead of u of n and n. But again, when I get that final answer, y equals -3, what this answer here doesn't tell me, without looking back into the equation, is what the value, our input value is. So that's probably the big difference between the two forms. So I decided to choose some problems in which the explicit formula did not use u any longer, but just simply a. So each textbook or handout, depending on who's writing the worksheet, may choose a different letter. So we can use u of n to what your textbook authors have chosen. We could use a of n, b of n, c of n. It doesn't, that letter that we start with doesn't matter. Generally, we use n, and representing the number that we're inputting. So if you would go ahead and create the first 5 terms of each sequence, and then please write the using the given formula. If you would find the first 5 terms. And then turn the video back on. If you're comfortable with all 3, go ahead and do all 3. Otherwise, just do one of them and turn the video back on to see if you've done it correctly, and then finish up the other 2. So we are starting with -11, and that would be our u of 0 answer. So I'm going to go ahead and crack a table here. And then a of 1. If I stick the 1 in here, it's going to be -11 plus 7 times 1. So I'm going to be at -4. Another way of looking at this, because you're doing 7n, that means the answer is going to increase by 7. If I put in 2 here, it's going to be negative 11 plus 7 times 2. That's going to be a positive 3. Again, another increase of 7. Next answer will be 10. So negative 7 plus 7 times 3, or again add 7. And then the last one would be 17. Same reason. Negative 11 plus 7 times 4, or just simply add another 7. We're asking for a specific answer. So a to the 34 is equal to negative 11 plus 7 times 34. So this is a specific answer. So a to the 34 is equal to negative 11 plus 238. So the 34th answer actually be 35th if you count 0 as the first answer. A to the 34 is 227. So basically, you're taking 238 and subtracting 11 from it. So based on your answers here, if you've done everything correctly, go ahead and continue on to the other two problems. Turn the video back on when you're ready to continue. I've already set up the table, so we're starting at 65 as the 0 answer. Then we're going to do 65 minus 100 times 1 for a of 1. That's negative 35. 65 minus 100 times 2 is going to be 135. If I do it times 3, it's going to be negative 235. And if I do times 4, it's going to be negative 335. So basically we're starting with 65, and then each time the answer is decreasing by 100. That's our slope. If I want to find the 39th answer, or a to the 39, then 65 minus 100 times 39, and we end up with negative 3,835. In this problem here, we're starting at negative 7.1, and each time the answer is decreasing by 2.1. Or if I stick in negative 7.1 times, or minus 2.1 times 2, for example, I'll get negative 11.3. I would take a negative 7.1 times, or minus 2.1 times 3, I'll get negative 13.4. Here they want you to find the 27th answer. So it's going to be negative 7.1 minus 2.1 times 27. So we end up with negative 68.8. I'm sorry, negative 63.8. So our last problem, we have three problems in our last screen. It's asking for the first 5 terms and then the explicit formula. So we're saying the first term is 28, and the d values are difference, or common difference. So that means the difference between the each answer is going to be 10. So I'm going to continue to add 10 each time to get to the next answer. And writing the explicit formula, it's going to be u of n equals our beginning value plus our slope times n. Now the one thing I want to caution you with this problem here is that we're beginning with the first answer. And the number that goes here is actually the y-intercept. So sometimes when you're doing these problems, depending on where we're starting at, you may find yourself having to work backwards to get back to the u of 0, or in this case, a of 0 answer. So the a of 0 answer is 18. That is the b value, or the y-intercept. So the equation would be u of n is equal to 18 plus, and again, our slope is 10. One of the things you could do is to check is actually put in, for example, u of 1, or in this case, or a of 1, and check to make sure that you actually get the right answer. So it's 18 plus 10 times 1. And we're supposed to get an answer of 28. So 10 times 1 is 10, plus 18 is 28, so it does work. I'll go ahead and change these u's to a's, and we're using a instead. So keep in mind that your formula, your recursive information, may not necessarily start at the right value, so you may have to work backwards. So if you go ahead and write the explicit formula for these two situations, plus also list the first 5 terms. Turn the video back on when you're ready to continue. So I went ahead and to again save a little bit of time in the video, went ahead and include the 5 numbers here. So we'll start at negative 38. We're subtracting 100 each time to get the next answer. Keep in mind this is a of 1, so that means we need to go back to a of 0, which means it's going to be 100 greater than the previous, so that would be 62. So 62 take away 100 will give me a negative 38. So that means the beginning value in this equation is 62. So a of n equals 62 plus the slope, and the slope is our d value, our difference. So our slope is negative 100. So for example, if I would put in a of 1 to check and do 62 plus negative 100 times 1, I'll get 62 minus 100. So the answer for a of 1 is negative 38. This problem here, we're starting at negative 34, so first number in the table, and we're subtracting 10 each time, so it's going down by 10. But again, we need to know the answer at a of 0. So that means the increase is going to be actually going to go up 10. So that when I subtract 10 from the a of 0 answer, I will get the a of 1 answer. The beginning number, again, is negative 24, so we're beginning with a of 0. And our slope is negative 10. So the equation, or the explicit formula would be a of n is equal to negative 24 plus negative 10. I'd always recommend, especially when your table or information you're given doesn't give you the starting value as an a of 0 or u of 0, you may want to check your formula to make sure that it really does give you the right answer for whatever a value or u value you're given. So, if you have any questions, please let me know.